Good day, this is Trend Xtra News on Creators Connect today, where we bring to you recent happenings across the world. Stay tuned for our headline. Petrol scarcity. Fuel crisis worsens as depot diverts PMS to Abuja. FG must monitor 200 billion naira MSME intervention funds. APC chieftain. Rivers United reveal plans for outstanding MPFL matches. No more big three. Rema goes to Twitter, rant about everything concerning Afrobeats. This brings us to the end of the headlines for today. Now let us go to the news in detail. Welcome back. Now the news in detail. Removing fuel subsidy saved Nigeria from bankruptcy. President Bola Tinubu said on Sunday that Nigeria would have gone bankrupt if his administration had not discontinued fuel subsidy payments. He said though the policy came with economic pains, it was in the best interest of Nigerians. Tinubu spoke at a special World Economic Forum in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Upon assuming office last May, Tinubu implemented the discontinuance of subsidies on petrol as prescribed by the immediate past administration of Muhammadu Buhari. He said the move would have saved the government's money for infrastructural expansion. However, this move sparked collateral instability in the value of Naira and heaped hardship on Nigerians as food prices soared. At the WEF, Tinubu argued that removing the petrol subsidy was a necessary action for my country not to go bankrupt and to reset the economy towards growth. Acknowledging the difficulties posed by the decision, the Nigerian leader told attendees that his government implemented parallel arrangements to cushion the impact on vulnerable citizens. Yes, there have been drawbacks. Yes, there was the expectation that a greater number of people would feel the difficulty. But, of course, I believe it was their interest that was the focus of the government. It is easier to manage and explain the difficulties, but along the line, there was a parallel arrangement to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal on the vulnerable population of the country. We share the pain across the board. We cannot but include those who are vulnerable. Luckily, we have a very vibrant, youthful population interested in discoveries by themselves, highly ready for technology, good education, and committed to growth, Tinubu explained. He also described the unification of the Naira exchange rate as necessary to remove the artificial element of value in our currency. The move, he argued, enabled the local currency to find its level, compete with the rest of the world's currencies, and remove arbitrage, corruption, and opaqueness. NNPC rations supplied to the poor orders operators to prioritize loading to Abuja. Queues spread in Lagos, Ogun, orders. Stations raise pump prices as black market thrives. Despite claims by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited that the logistic issue causing fuel scarcity had been addressed, Nigerians in Lagos and other parts of the country were still struggling to get premium motor spirit as many filling stations remained on the lock and key throughout the weekend. The situation might worsen in Lagos and other parts of the southwest like Ogun State, Oyo State, Osun State, and others because there was a directive by the NNPCL that fuel trucks must first service the Federal Capital Territory before any other place. As a result, the majority of trucks leaving the depot in Lagos since Friday were heading for Abuja. Officials of the NNPCL and marketers told our correspondent that there was a directive that depot should service Abuja filling stations before any other part of the nation. They worried that queues might linger for the next 3 days in the southwest. According to the oil sector sources, hundreds of trucks loaded on Saturday were sent to Abuja based on the NNPCL directive. The officials who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak to the press on the matter also disclosed that the product was being rationed by the NNPCL, which now allocates 5,000 metric tons of fuel instead of 10,000 MT to depot. Because of scarcity, there are directives that the product should be rationed. Depot now gets about 220 trucks, which is half what they usually get. This is happening because of the erratic supply. If the NNPCL had enough supply, it would give everybody what they needed, and there would be no queues, one of the officials stated. According to an operator, the erratic supply has been caused by the national energy company's inability to import enough at the moment. The cause of the erratic supply is because of the NNPCL does not have enough fuel imported. Regardless of the money or anything, the NNPCL sometimes experiences glitches in its supply. For example, at the NNPCL jetty in Apapa, as of Saturday, there was only one tanker as ASPM, which can take about 40,000 metric tons. The three other reception points had no PMS vessel. Whenever the NNPCL has disruptions in importation, we start having these issues. They will try hard to manage it, but will later blow open. Last week, they said it was a result of logistics, but this is not about logistics. It is about glitches in importation. All our trucks now are heading to Abuja. There was a directive to all dealers and marketers that they should serve Abuja first. All regulatory agencies know that products will go to Abuja until normalcy is restored. You can have your truck in the depot now for 3 to 4 days. They will just be telling you to hold on. You will not know what is happening. You will see other trucks going not knowing their location determines their loading ahead of you, the operator noted. He added, the Southwest will likely experience more queues in the next 2 to 3 days because the Abuja loading will continue until Monday. The government is prioritizing Abuja. They want the seat of power to have enough fuel supply. Speaking, the National Vice President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Ahmed Fashola, expressed hope that the queues in Lagos and Ogun State would cease and ease off between Monday and Wednesday, relying on the words of the NNPCL. Fashola, however, stated that the queues in Abuja might tarry a bit due to the distance to Lagos. The information available to us from the NNPCL was that there was a logistics problem, and when that happens, it will disrupt the supply chain. That might be a delay in the movement of ships from the mother vessel to the daughter vessel before it gets to the depot tanks. Before we can correct that, surely it will take some days. I think by Tuesday or Wednesday, there will be more product available for lifting by marketers. It might take time before it can ease off in Abuja, considering the distance to Lagos and the bad roads. Lagos might become this new week, Fashola assured. In another story, FG must monitor 200 billion naira MSME intervention funds, APC chieftain. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Osun State, Mr. Olatunbosun Oyintiloye, has called on President Bola Tinubu to monitor closely the distribution of the 200 billion naira Presidential Intervention Fund for micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises and manufacturers in the country. Oyintiloye, in a statement on Sunday, said it was necessary for the president to monitor the disbursement to prevent saboteurs from derailing the initiative. The ex-lawmaker recalled that the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investments, Doris Uzoka Anet, recently announced the launch of a sum of 200 billion naira Presidential Intervention Fund for micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises and manufacturers. Uzoka Anite, while explaining how the amounts would be disbursed, said a sum of 75 billion naira would be distributed to MSMEs, while another 75 billion naira would go to the manufacturing industry. Insisting that the funds must be protected from being mismanaged, Oyintiloye said necessary measures must be put in place to ensure that different intervention initiatives of the president have positive impact on the lives of Nigerians. He said MSMEs contribute over 45% to the country's gross domestic product, with 98.8% of them in the micro cadre. They account for nearly 90% of the jobs in the country. Therefore, as MSMEs grow, they create more jobs, contribute to the GDP by producing goods and services for domestic consumption and exports, which will lead to prosperity for more and less insecurity across the country. By creating jobs, MSMEs help to reduce unemployment rates, promote innovation, stimulate economic growth and diversification. And that is the more reason we have to give it to the President for this initiative. It will in no small way boost the economy through the creation of new markets, because MSMEs are vital to the economic growth of any nation. But there must be a close watch on the distribution of the funds. The President must ensure that he is personally carrying out integrity checks on the process to prevent sabotage. We will be going on this short break, and when we're back, we will advance to sports news. Please stay tuned with us. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. This is the Trend Xtra News on Creators Connect today, where we give you recent happenings across the world. Now to the sporting scene. Rivers United review plans for the outstanding NPFL matches. Rivers United have revealed plans to prosecute their 5 outstanding Nigeria Premier Football League fixtures and assume a vantage position in the standings for a continental ticket by season's end. The head coach, Stanley Eguma, agrees their work is cut out, but believes the team will claim pride of place on the log, being the main focus of the team and the Rivers State government. To achieve the targets, the veteran NPFL tactician stressed the need to rotate the squad by introducing fresh leads to provide pace and strength, with a majority of the players seemingly fagged out. As you noticed in our last game against Katsina United, our boys appeared tired, which makes it imperative to opt for player rotation because we have many matches ahead of us, Eguma told the correspondent. Their media officer, Charles Mayako, corroborated Eguma's assertion, adding that the team was well motivated to prosecute the outstanding matches and finish the season strongly. Now finally to the entertainment world. No more Big Three. Rema goes to Twitter, rant about everything concerning Afrobeat. Nigerian Afrobeat superstar Divine Ukubo, popularly known as Rema, has ranked himself in the same category as Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido, as he declared no more Big Three. In no particular order, Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido are famously referred to as the Big Three of the Nigerian music industry due to their great exploits at home and abroad, coupled with their influence and longevity. However, Rema considered himself worthy of the same designation as he suggested in his tweets. No more Big Three, there is now a Big Four, he declared. Meanwhile, that was the only beginning of Rema's rant, as he went on to throw shade at some of his colleagues. In a follow-up tweet, the superstar artist said, Afrobeat, Afro anything. A clear reference to the controversy over Wizkid, Burna Boy, and Fireboy's recent claims that their music is no longer Afrobeat. Labels, get creative. Stop trying to clone me, the singer said as he sent a message to some record labels who are trying to model their artist after him. This brings us to the end of the news today. This is Trend Xtra News on Creators Connect. Now, the headlines again to remind you of what we read earlier. Now the headlines again. Removing fuel subsidy save Nigeria from bankruptcy. Tinubu. Petrol scarcity. Fuel crisis worsens as depot divert PMS to Abuja. FG must monitor 200 billion naira. MSME intervention funds. APC chieftain. Rivers United reviews plans to outstanding NPFL matches. No more Big Three. Rema goes to Twitter, rant about everything concerning Afrobeat. This brings us to the end of the news today. This is Trend Xtra News on Creators Connect. My name is Oluwashim Adedokun. Till we meet again, join us for the next news. Thank you.